たままにしてもしっかりするよシスターラフラの両足を蹴っ飛ばした口ずさむのはいつものマシンガン届かなくなった距離を恨んだ思わ化粧の匂い化粧の匂いがしてキラキラの灰になって踊った重力に逆らえずに踊ったあの日を君を二度目はもう離さない Twinkle Twinkle Little Star I wonder what you are Up above tower so high Like a diamond in the sky なので僕が作り上げてきた魔法よしっかりしてよって隙のない階段を登り続けて扉をいつまでも開いたままにしてもしっかりしてよフラフラの両足を蹴っ飛ばした口ずさむのはいつもの羅針盤届かなくなった距離を恨んだ思わ化粧の匂い化粧の匂いがしてキラキラの灰になって踊った重力に逆らえずに踊ったあの日を君を二度目はもう離さないよ
VTubers in the sky, we can stream twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, a streaming rainbow. We can stream anywhere. Do follow us, subscribe, no fuss. A streaming rainbow. We can stream anywhere. Let's read a book and get you hooked. A streaming rainbow. A streaming rainbow. Yo, yo, Dio! What's up, uppers? And welcome to another episode of The Cringe. It's a Doodoo Spaghetti, and today we're going to be doing a book review. A book review of one of my favorite Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition supplements, PLANESHIFT Ixalan for Magic the Gathering. What? It is short but sweet. You know what I'm saying, guys? Do you know what I'm saying? Because remember, I was always making jokes where like, oh, there's like 2 pages of character descriptions, but normal RPGs, normal tabletop RPGs will have 896 pages of character descriptions. What? Oh my goodness. If you've ever been curious, or if you've ever wanted, if you've ever wanted to have Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition adventures in the Magic of the Gathering universe, boy, do I have some nice short they're like short supplements, and I think they're in PDF form. If I'll have to find the link. If I do, I usually just post it on my, when I post this video to the YouTubes, I'll have it on the YouTubes and stuff like that. But I can't wait to showcase. We have a lot of different plane shifts of the Magic the Gathering D&D 5e game supplements. Boy, that's a tongue twister. But for tonight's stream, I want to showcase PLANESHIFT Ixalan. It is basically Jurassic Park. Hello. It's basically Jurassic Park, Magic the Gathering, Jurassic Park, D&D. What beats Bears Battlestar Galactica? Alright guys, good evening everybody. Good evening, magandang gabi, Panoys, Puppers, Kababayans chat. I hope everybody had a wonderful day today, and I hope that you guys are having a wonderful evening. Thank you for keeping me company here in the cringe. I hope that you guys enjoy the stream. Don't forget your drinks and snacks, okay guys? And as you guys can tell, we're in the Goober, and the Goober is taking us to our gaming destination. Good evening, everybody. Oh my goodness, I overslept. I had a early shift today, and I was going to do like a early afternoon stream and stuff like that. I had plans to do 2 streams. One like mid-afternoon, and then I was gonna take like a dinner break, and then I was gonna do a short secret bedtime stream. But I took a nap. You know what? IRL work today was kind of stressful, and I didn't end up leaving earlier than I thought, so I stayed. You know, I volunteered to stay to help out a little bit, and then I got home and I was like not feeling too good, very stressed out, stuff like that. So I took I had like kind of like a early half dinner kind of, and then I had some a little bit of gamer subs. I still have some of my gamer subs right now, and I thought I'll take a quick nap, maybe, because I don't like streaming when I'm in a bad mood and stuff like that, because it just makes streaming like feel like blah, like blah blah blah, especially if you've had a rough day IRL work. So I took a nap, all thinking like, oh, I can't wait to do like my streaming rainbow stream, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, overnap, guys. What can I say? So there goes the idea for the second, stream and stuff like that. So we're gonna be doing the next one. Oh, hey! I'm setting down for bed, but came in to say hi. Also, I installed the. Oh my goodness. My second secret stream was supposed to be Mecha Break. Today's the last day for drops, guys. Today's the last day for drops. So, oh, Crimson, thank you for popping in. My recommendation, Crimson, just let, if you know anybody that's streaming Mecha Break, I believe you could get some more, the last day's drops. So usually the last day's drops is gonna be probably like a color, what do they call them? In Mecha Break, you get these little cans of color. So you could basically paint your mech with that color. And depending on the color, it's rare. Depending on the color, there is a classification of rarity plus higher like in-game currency costs and stuff like that. So hopefully you might get a color that you like and things like that. So me, I don't mind having the default mecha skin color. But it's something that you might maybe think about if you're becoming like a crazy big fan of the Mecha Breaks. I got glasses. I'll watch. Me too. I got glasses. I got like 7. I have 7 drops that I have to figure out how to get on my Mecha Break account. But as soon as I figure that out, hopefully. And then I think I'm still in the tutorial. So I think you're supposed to play out the tutorial, and it slowly teaches you the game, and I think once you complete the tutorial, you'll be able to unlock the ability to like create a squad of teammates, like a squad of strikers, a squad of strikers to do battle to save the earth, But anyways, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope you had a wonderful day, wonderful evening, Crimson. Thank you for keeping me company. Thank you for popping in. I totally understand if you got to go to bed anyways, but I don't know. You're probably gonna be playing Mecha Break in bed. All right, guys, let's get into the game room, everybody. Let's get into the game room. All right, guys, we will be book review. We'll be streaming Rainbowing Magic the Gathering PLANESHIFT Ixalan. It's a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition supplement. If you for those of you who want to play in the world of the Magic of the Gathering. When I discovered this, I was like, whoa, because I always wondered, why don't they have a Magic? Why doesn't like Magic the Gathering collab do a collab event with Dungeons and Dragons and come up with some books? I think they did come up with a book. It's called it's an official book called Ravnica or something like that. But there's so many other planes that exist in the Magic of the Gatherings and stuff like that. This one is one of my favorites because basically this one here, let me show you guys. Basically this one is dinosaurs. It's basically dinosaurs. This is the world. Look, see, there's all these dinosaurs. It's basically Magic the Gathering Jurassic Park. Like Jurassic Park, Magic the Gathering meets Dungeons and Dragons. It is the coolest idea of an adventuring place, a place where you could adventure. Both are Wizards of the Coast. Oh, they are? Oh, so I always wonder why they just don't want to come. Well, they did combine it, guys. There is a book called Ravnica, but I'm not a big fan of the Ravnica place, I guess. Like in Magic the Gathering, there's so many different planes where you could basically. It's kind of like a multiverse, right? Magic the Gathering is kind of like a magical multiverse. So you could play in different planes of existence because you know when you guys play Magic the Gathering, right? There's cards in the game called Planeswalkers. Those are the characters that could move in and out, like shift in and out of different planes of the Magic the Gathering universes, multiverses. So you would think they would have Ixalan as a major supplement, but this is kind of a supplement. I'm not sure, you know, hopefully if I find the link, I'll let you guys get it because this is one of my favorite. It's also a fun read, and it's not 974 pages of the world of Ixalan. It's not like one of those. This is only like 47 pages of information, campaign notes, and things like that. So the chapters go as thus. Oh, for those of you who are thinking about playing tabletop role-playing games, especially the most popular one, wink wink, Dungeons and Dragons. I know that there's currently a controversy going on with whatchamacallit, with the current edition. I think they're working on 6th edition now, and there's something going on with 5.5 edition. I'm not too familiar with that, you know. So you know, your questions, I don't know, this, you know, your questions as good as my questions and stuff like that. But I currently play and have played the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, which is basically what Critical Role, I think Critical Role used to play. They're now promoting their own game called Daggerheart. So as soon as I get a PDF and check it out, I'll be able to, you know, I'll put that in my my slot of streaming rainbow stuffs to do. Okay, my streaming rainbow stuffs. Alright guys, here we go. Alright guys, so let's go into the world. Okay, for those of you who are interested in playing Dungeons and Dragons, you'll be using these types of dice. Okay, so these are the dice that you'll be playing. I played back in this. Oh, me too, Crimson. I played during the golden. I remember the golden age of well, nowadays they call them TTRPG, tabletop role-playing games. Back then we just called them RPGs. So I remember during the golden age of RPGs, there was the basic red box, blue box edition of Dungeons and Dragons. I remember GURPS. There was a box set for GURPS. There was a box set for the World of Darkness, Vampire, the Masquerade. I remember there was a box set, a Western role-playing game called Boot Hill. There was a superhero box set. Remember Villains and Vigilantes? And then I remember there was two superheroes box sets, RPGs. There's the Marvel superheroes, and then there's the DC heroes. And then Paranoia. Oh, I remember the Empire of the Petal Throne was one of my favorite box sets. Rifts too. I remember Rifts. Oh my goodness, I remember Rifts. Oh, my favorite part of Rifts was the Robotech supplement where you could play in the world of the Robotech. What? Oh my goodness. Remember Mega Damage and Rifts? There would be normal damage, right? You know, so let's just say human versus human, right? Normal damage, right? 10 points damage. Human versus human, right? But then if it's mecha versus human, it would be mega damage. Remember, so for every mega damage would be like, let's just say 10 mega damage is the equivalent of 1,000 hit points of damage. You versus a human, you would be instantly vaporized. Oh, I remember that. I remember those days. All right, guys. So this is what you'll be using. What was the sail ships in space? Oh, those were the hold on. That was dang it. It was a Dungeons and Dragons supplement called something. Dang it. Okay, all right. If anybody knows, hold on. Space is called a spacecraft, the Starcraft, or dang it, something. Shoot, I'll have to. You know what? I'm gonna have to Google it now. Hold on. Hold your horses. Let me Google D&D in space. D&D in space. Okay, hold on, I'm checking now. Spelljammer. It was called Spelljammer. It was called Spelljammer, guys. Remember Spelljammer? You were traveling in your sailboat in space, and remember the main villains were the what were those octopus people? The octopus. What were they? They were like the mind flayers. I remember the mind flayers had taken over the space, the D&D space. I remember. Dude, that was a fun campaign. That was a fun campaign world. But anyways, guys, these are okay. So if you're going to be playing role-playing games, and it's going to be your first time, and surely, probably, high statistics is that you were watching Critical Role play Dungeons and Dragons, and then you were like, hey, I want to play this with my friends. So you're going to need to get some dice. They're called polyhedrons, aka polyhedrals, but in today's meta, they just basically call them gaming dice. Okay, so this is what you're gonna get. Hold on, let me check this out, guys. Right, you'll need to get a pair of gaming dice, and it looks like this. Right, so you're going to get what's called a four-sided dice. So they're dice with different sides. So this one is a four-sided dice, a four-sided die, and they call it in short term a D4. So this is a D4. Right, it rolls between 1 to 4. This is a D6. This is your normal gaming dice. Okay, this is the normal gaming dice. So you roll D6. It rolls 1 to 6. This is a D8. You roll a 1 to 8. There's a D10. You roll 1 to 10. And there's also something called there's also called percentile dice, where it's a second D10, but it's in it's like 10s, 20s, 30s, 40s. So if you roll them together, it makes a percent. So that is 73%. You guys see? There's a 3 on one, a 70 on the other. So it's 73%. So let's try again. Right, so that one is 49%. Right, so this one is called percentile dice. It's basically part of the D10. And then there's a 12-sided die, and it rolls 1 to 12. That one looks like it's cocked. wait, hold on. Let me pick up the dice here. All right, so this one is the D12. We rolled a 5 over here, and this one is a D20. Ba-dum-bum. All right, this one's a D20, and everyone knows the D20. So that's how we rolled a 10. The D100. I don't have D100. I'm using Crimson. If you ever have an idea that you want to stream like Dungeons and Dragons or like something like that, like you want to do like a book review or whatnots, or if you want to like play D&D with your friends on stream, I have this dice rolling application, and it's an independent dice rolling application that's free. With, of course, there's in-dice purchases, but the cost of the dice are kind of affordable. Like I'm seeing dice sets for like between, let's just say there's dice you could get between $7 to as high as like $14, which is kind of high. The ones I'm rolling here are free. These are the free dice that it comes with. Wait, hold on. Let me put these again. So these are the free dice that it comes with, and it looks so good on stream. It looks so good on stream. All right, guys, let's continue. So in the contents of the Magic the Gathering PLANESHIFT Ixalan compatible with Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, playing in the worlds of the Magic of the Gathering. The contents are World of Ixalan, Races of Ixalan, The Land of the Great River, and Ixalan Bestiary, and the appendix of the Colors of Magic. So check this out. Okay, so Ixalan is an island. It's like a chain of islands that make one ginormous island. Is that right? There is an actual word. So what is it called, guys? Is it called archipelago? Is it called archipelago? Like what is it if it's a bunch of islands? Here, let me show you. I think better visually. Right, so it looks like this. There. It's sideways. Okay, it's sideways. But it's a bunch of islands surrounding other islands. And then there's like a small ocean like in the middle. It looks like it once used to be a volcano, and then, over the millions and bazillions of years, right, water filled around the area. So because if you look at it, it's kind of like you're looking at like the top of a ancient volcano that filled up with water, and then the water filled the nooks and crannies of the volcano, and it formed like the pathways of the islands and the water, something like that. Almost looks like Britannia from Ultima. You know what? I have a feeling it might be inspired by that. If you really think about it, Crimson, like a lot of the D&D stuff, basically, like they were inspired by like IRL topography, right? IRL cartography and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was like based off of like ancient Britannia or something like that. It is sideways, guys. It is sideways here. This one looks a little bit better this way. Okay, here we go, you guys. This is one of my favorite. This is a fun place to adventure. Okay, so so basically we have an introduction, right, from the author who wrote the supplement, right? So it says here that he was inspired by, remember this D&D classic adventure called The Hidden Shrine of Tomoe-chan? Remember that, guys? So it's kind of like he was inspired like what do you guys call those ancient like Aztec style? So imagine if the Aztecs meets Dungeons and Dragons, and then you've got the classic adventure, The Hidden Shrine of Tomoe-chan. So he was inspired that, and that's where this the PLANESHIFT Ixalan, was brainchilded. So the world of Ixalan. Okay, so there are 4 major factions that are vying for control over Ixalan. Right? Ixalan, even though it looks like it's a tiny island, it's huge, right? Here, let me show you a picture. It looks tiny, but I think like 1 inch, 1 by 1 inch of the map is like, I don't know, several thousands of miles or something like that. So this is huge. This thing it's bigger than Hawaii as far as I know. It's bigger than Hawaii, and it might actually be Britannia, right? It might actually be Britannia, like ancient Breton size, kind of. Right, so there are 4 major factions that are vying for control over Ixalan. Okay, so one of the major factions is called the Sun Empire. The Sun Empire is a powerful civilization that dominates the eastern coast of Ixalan. The Empire's fierce warriors are supported by priests who wield the power of the sun and command the mighty dinosaurs that inhabit the continent. So basically, these are your fantasy Aztecs, right? The Sun Empire. What? So the race, then you have like these keywords. So you have the race is human, and the suggested backgrounds are acolyte, folk hero, guild artisan, hermit, noble, sage, soldier, urchin, and entertainer. So if you were going to pick character backgrounds, for your human character, then these are the suggested backgrounds. That's not to say that you can't pick outside it, but if you want to, okay, this is my recommendation. If you want to maintain the flavor of playing in the world of Ixalan, then yeah, I would say go with the suggested backgrounds: acolyte, entertainer, folk hero, guild artisan, hermit, noble, sage, soldier, and urchin. Now here are the suggested character classes, right? So these are the character classes for if you're going to create a Sun Empire character. So barbarian, right? And it also gives us a brief description that's flavorful to the world of Ixalan. So there's a barbarian. So for example, certain warriors devoted to Tilonanali, I believe it's one of the deities. It's an aspect of the threefold sun. That's the name of the deity that is worshipped by the folks of the empire. So there is a barbarian that is, I would say, following the path, a religious path of an aspect called the threefold sun. So this is our barbarian. It gives like other descriptions. You could play a bard, right? Poetry is respected art amongst the warriors of the Sun Empire. So you could play a bard. You could play clerics. Sun clerics, right, are typically devoted to one particular aspect of their deity known as the threefold sun, right? So then you could play druid, Sun Empire druid. You could play a Sun Empire fighter. You could play a Sun Empire paladin. And you could play a Sun Empire ranger. So each of these keywords, these character class keywords, has a short description, a flavorful description that will help give you the imagination to help create your Sun Empire character. So, and it says here that you could roll a suggested ideal and you could roll a suggested bond. Okay, so let's roll. Okay, so it says right here, if you're going to create a character from the Sun Empire, like, one of the factions that is vying for control of Ixalan, we would roll a suggested ideal and we would roll for a suggested bond. So let's roll a d6, okay? So we roll a d6 here. So for suggested ideal, we get a 6. So we would get one of our ideals, our Sun Empire character ideals, is peace. I would like to believe that peace can be forged among the peoples of this land. So I you know what? Maybe, perhaps, I've been traumatized by all the wars, right? The war of the 4 factions. It's a lot of my best friends have died fighting against, the other factions for control of the island, for the control of Ixalan, and I just want peace. Why can't we get along? Why can't we get along, everybody? And then we could roll for a suggested bond. So we have suggested bond. We roll d6. Let's see, what do we get? We got a 6 again. What? We got a 6 again. So our suggested bond is, I will one day find the immortal sun and restore the empire's ancient glory. Oh, I'm a holy, what? I'm on some kind of like holy quest, right? I'm on a holy quest to restore the empire to ancient glory. But I also believe that peace can be forged amongst the peoples of the land. So you know what? I would probably try to spread the word. I would probably go about trying to convert people to my religion, right? Trying to say, hey, like that, dude, this could be an interesting hardcore character, right? I would go at all. This character seems to go beyond the normal means to try to get people to believe in the immortal sun, the religion of the immortal sun, because I believe that if we could all practice the philosophies of the immortal sun, it would bring peace amongst the lands. So these are suggestions for, you'll get to roll these for your Sun Empire. If I was going to play a Sun Empire character, I'm already thinking I want to be a Sun Empire Ranger. I would be, and then it says here, if I was going to be a Sun Empire Ranger, I get to choose Beastmaster or a Hunter. Oh, okay, so I would be a Beastmaster, and then it says here, I get to pick one companion of a dinosaur type. I could pick a pterodon, a Dimetrodon, and a Velociraptor. I'm getting Velociraptor. Okay. I am okay. My Sun Empire character is a ranger who is a Beastmaster, and my traveling companion is a Velociraptor. What? What? And then I believe in peace, and that one day I will find the immortal sun and restore the Empire's ancient glory. What? That sounds pretty. You know what? Right out the gate, guys. Right out the gate, we already have a pretty cool Sun Empire character. All right, let's continue to the second faction that is vying for control of Ixalan. This one's cool. The River Heralds. They're mermen. You get to play a merman, like a Magic the Gathering merman. And the another faction, the third faction, is Legion of the Dusk. It's vampires. They're vampire paladins. What? On a road of redemption, right? Because you know vampires, you're thinking vampires, they're evil, right? But these were paladins that were cursed into vampirism. But because of their belief, you know, their paladin, their holy paladin beliefs, right? With being turned into vampires, they're on a quest of redemption by vanquishing like the evil of Ixalan. And they view everybody here as evil, like crazy, huh? So they're known as, you could play a character from the Legion of the Dusk. You could play a merman. The fourth faction is the Brazen Coalition. Basically, these are pirates. You could create a One Piece, right? You could create your One Piece. Basically, it's a pirate. So the four factions that are vying for control over Ixalan are Sun Empire, River Heralds, Legion of Dusk, Brazen Coalition. All right, so let's go into River Heralds. The River Heralds are a collection of small nomadic bands of merfolk who were the dominant inhabitants of Ixalan before the rise of the Sun Empire. What? So it says here, your race is merfolk. Suggested background are acolyte, folk hero, hermit, outlander, sage. So the suggested classes that if you want to choose for your River Herald character is there's druid, you could be a fighter, you could be a ranger, you could be a wizard. And then you have a suggested ideal and you have your suggested mon. Okay, I'm a big fan of the merman, you know, because of whatchamacallit, remember in what's that in Hellboy? Remember what was the name of that merman in Hellboy, guys? What was his name? Dang it, I can't think of his name. He was the amphibian creature in the movie Hellboy. And he's friends with Hellboy and stuff. Like Hellboy's friends with like I think three paranormal characters. Bum 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 bum. Trying to think of the character's name. I think it was shoot, I'm gonna have to Google it. Dang it. Right, hold on, let me Google this, guys. Hellboy cast. Abe Sapien. Wait, is it Abe Sapien? Yes, it's Abe Sapien. Because that's the character. So I'm getting the vibe. Hold on, guys. Let me put this here. There we go. Alright, get this here. Go here. Alright. So I'm getting the Abe Sapien vibe for a merman character. I'm getting that I'm being inspired. Okay, so if I was gonna create a herald, I would be a outlander. That's my background. I would be a let me see. For some reason, I really like rangers. That's my favorite. Okay, so I will be a ranger. So it says here, other River Herald warriors wield the druidic magic of the forest in the defense of their lands. Right, so I would probably be a ranger, and I think I would have a splash of druidic magic. Let's roll our ideals. Okay, let's roll our ideals for our merman. So let's roll for suggested ideals. We got a 1. So we believe in one of our ideals is harmony. The peoples of this world should strive for the same harmony that exists between air and water. And then we'll roll for our suggested bond. We got a 5. I aspire to become the leader of my band, either as a shaman or by supplanting the shaman as a war leader. What? Okay, so my River Herald character is an outlander who is a ranger that has ranger abilities with a splash of druidic magic. I believe in the harmony of the land, right? And the only way to get that harmony is by supplanting my rule. Oh my goodness, is by supplanting my rule. Basically, you know, doing a coup, like a merman coup, a merfolk coup, and claim myself as war leader. That's, oh my goodness. Right out the gate, guys, we're already having like amazing character creations here. All right, we have an awesome Sun Empire character. We have an awesome idea for a River Herald. All right, so the next faction is Legion of the Dusk. It says here, the Society of the Legion of Dusk is built around the rites and devotion of a powerful church, led by undead paladins who sustain themselves on the blood of their enemies. What? After 700 years of war, 700 years of war that saw them march across the entirety of their home continent, the vampires of the Legion have come to add Ixalan to their territory. What? All right, if we're going to play a Legion of the Dusk character, we have to be human or vampire. Or, well, Racist says vampire/human, so we're gonna have to be a human vampire. The suggested background for your character is acolyte, noble, sage, soldier, urchin. Right now, I'm thinking soldier. I was gonna be a soldier, right? So background is soldier. I'm a vampire soldier, a member of the Legion of the Dusk. The suggested character classes are, there's cleric, fighter, monk, or paladin. I'm feeling I gotta go paladin, guys. Okay, so under the keyword of paladin, it says here, vampire paladins of the Legion of Dusk typically swear the oath of devotion, though the tenets they follow are appropriate to their particular faith. Nice, nice. So we have to follow the oath of devotion, and I'm pretty sure that there's the oath is somewhere. Wait, is there a tenets of blood? Hold on. It says right here. Does you see that little gray box there? That's a little footnote. Okay, it says here, tenets of blood. The vampires of the Legion of Dusk can hardly be considered good. Hello, vampires, what? You know, they can hardly be considered good, but that's a big but. Wink, wink. They do favor law and a sense of honor. The tenets of the vampire paladin's oath reflect that view. So you have honesty. Wait, here are the keywords: honesty, courage, honor, and duty. All right, so it's basically, you're still, even though we've been turned into vampires, right? The peoples of the Legion of the Dusk, right? Whether you're a soldier, a fighter, a cleric, a monk, or whatnots and stuff like that, or whatever is the suggested classes are, we still maintain the paladinic order of the, what's the word I'm looking for, guys? We still believe in the paladin's oath, you know, in the paladin's oath, but it's a little bit warped because of the vampirism that's, you know, in our blood, in our veins, right? We want to conquer the land, and, you know, but cleanse it. We want to cleanse the land of the enemies of our order, of our holy order, quote unquote holy order. It's kind of like a warp, like our belief in the church, you know, our is it church or our paladinic oath or something like that? Like our belief is so strong that it's been warped because of the vampirism, and then now we just want to cleanse everybody of the land. You know, our holy war. Basically, it's kind of like a holy crusade, a vampiric holy crusade, that is. What? Okay, so I am feeling, if I was going to create a character of the Legion of Dusk, I would be, of course, a paladin. Okay, so I would be a soldier as my background, and then I would have paladin as my suggested class. let's roll our suggested ideals and our suggested bonds. Okay, so we roll here. Let's roll d6 here. We rolled a 2. Okay, so for our dang it, that's a tongue twister. For our suggested ideal, we have order. The purpose of our conquest is to establish law and order in the lands we rule. And then we roll, let's see, our suggested bond. Man, that's pretty hardcore, guys. That's pretty hardcore. Right, so we roll d6. We rolled a 4. Okay, we rolled a 4. For our suggested bond is, I carry a relic of one of the vampire saints, known as the Venerables, counting it as my dearest possession. Holy smoke! All right, so I am a paladin, right? I'm a paladin with a vampiric artifact. It could, let's say it's a sword. It could be a sword, right? The sword that glows, right? In the presence of those non-vampiric, right? And then I am hardcore. I believe in the purpose of conquest to establish law and order in the lands that we rule. Oh my, this is a hardcore. This is a typical paladin, guys, but it's been warped, because of the vampirism, because of the vampirism that we've been cursed with. So now we want to, establish law and order in the lands using vampiric means. Using holy vampiric means. What? Right, so that's the Legion of Dust. Okay, the final faction that is vying for control of Ixalan is the Brazen Coalition. This is basically the One Peaks. The One Peaks, guys. Okay, Brazen Coalition. The Brazen Coalition was formed by sailors who fled across the sea, escaping the final advance of the Legion of Dusk against the free cities of Torazon. These mariners originally sought to establish colonies on Ixalan and trade with the cities of the Sun Empire. But when the Sun Empire drove them off, they turned instead to piracy and plunder. Okay, so the races of the members of the Brazen Coalition, aka One Peaks, Magic the Gathering One Peaks, is Goblin, Human, Orc, and Siren. Right, so the Goblin, okay, normal Dungeons and Dragons, like official Dungeons and Dragons, goblins are green. Magic the Gathering goblins are blue with white fur or white hair, and they move monkey-like. They move like monkey-like. Alright, so suggested background: charlatan, criminal, entertainer, folk hero, sage. I'll be a sailor. Okay, so right out the gate, I want to be a goblin. Alright, so I want to be a goblin that's a sailor. Let's look at our suggested classes. Alright, it suggests bard, fighter, rogue, or warlock, or wizard. I'm gonna be a rogue. Okay, I want to be a goblin sailor that's a rogue, and then within the rogue, I could pick scoundrel, swashbuckler, thief. Thief. Okay, all right. So I'm a goblin sailor that's a rogue thief. Wow, it's already we're already like creating the characters, right? All right, so let's roll our suggested ideals and our bonds. Okay. Right, so for suggested ideal, we rolled a 4, so we have pillage. It's not the having. Wait, I have to be goblin, right? It's not the having, it's the taking that shows who's the strongest. And then for our bond, we rolled a 5. So the 5 is, I buried a great treasure somewhere and lost the map. That's our character, guys. That's our goblin sailor rogue thief, right? I buried the treasure somewhere. We lost the map, right? So now I'm in a conundrum, right? So that's why I'm hanging out and adventuring in the world, in the lands of Ixalan, because I need to find my treasure back. I need to find my treasure. Dang it! And then we believe in pillaging too. So it's not the having, it's the taking that shows who's the strongest. So we already have, I forgot how fast that you could literally springboard a character into fruition. So this is really cool. This is really cool. So these are the 4 factions that are vying for control over Ixalan, right? The Sun Empire, the River Heralds, the Legion of Dusk, the Brazen Coalition. Now we're going to go into the races of Ixalan. So outside of the 4 factions, so picture in the background, these 4 factions are fighting each other. There's wars going on, battles, shenanigans, murder, intrigue, let's just say the River Heralds make a secret night attack along the shores of the Legion of the Dusk. The Legion of the Dusk is in open battle over a section of forest against the Brazen Coalition, right? So the Brazen Coalition is trying to make exploratory incursions into like a mountainous region, right? And they're defending against attacks from the Legion of the Dusk. Meanwhile, the Sun Empire is launching a dinosaur horde army, right? Against the Legion of Dusk. And then the Legion of Dusk is retaliating against the Sun Empire's Dino Riders. But they were being observed across the river by the River Heralds. And then they're just waiting, biding their time for whichever side is losing, the River Heralds will pounce on that side. Meanwhile, the pirates of the Brazen Coalition that has put out expeditions along the eastern side of the island as well as the western side of the island. Plus some incursions into the central part of the sea of Ixalan. I forgot the name of the sea, but it's in here somewhere. But you guys get the idea, right? So these 4 are the main things happening in the background. With that said, these are the races of Ixalan. So we have human, right? We have merfolk. We have vampire. We have orc, right? We have Magic the Gathering orc. So the Magic the Gathering orc looks like the regular Dungeons and Dragons orc, but the Magic the Gathering goblin is blue. That's all, and plus they move like an ape. So they're like like a Planet of the Apes. So you could make them. I'm already picturing if I was playing a Magic the Gathering goblin, a Ixalan goblin, I would want to talk like Caesar from the Planet of the Apes movie. Like apes together, strong. Like like you, human, you vampire. Vampire bad, vampire. And I would do like a lot of sign language. Or if I had to pick a language, I would do sign language. So that way I could communicate with other blue goblins. So there's goblin. Then this is interesting. There's a character race called the Sirens. Sirens are, you're thinking, okay, the first thing you think is a siren, a mermaid that sings, that lulls sailors using, enchanting magic, right? To lull the sailors' ships to crash, onto the rocky shores, so that way the rest of the mermaids could pick over their meat to eat their meat, right? But siren here is not that. So the sirens here are winged folks, and of course they have the siren, ability, right? So they have the siren song ability. So basically, you're like a hawkman that could sing, and I think that's okay. So these are the main races. That's not to say that you can't pick any other race that's outside of this, but if you're going to be playing, in Ixalan, the Magic the Gathering, plane, I would recommend just pick one of these to make so that way you could have more flavor and stuff like that. Right? Unless, okay, here's an idea, but then again, okay, so it is an interesting idea. You could create a official Dungeons and Dragons character using the Dungeons and Dragons player's handbook, and then let's just say you got teleported, or no, your boat crashed the shores of Ixalan during a stormy weather, right? You don't know how to get home. Your boat is destroyed. Everybody, the crew is dead except you and your adventuring party. And then you find yourself in the land of Ixalan, on. Holland, Will, and Molly, D&D adventures on a great adventure in their home. But then a storm hit them. The storm carried them away. and crashed them on the shores away from home in the land and of Ixalan on in the land of Ixalan on. You guys get it, right? You guys get my driftwood? You guys get my driftwood? That's a great idea for an adventure. Holy smoke, we just created with an amazing idea, right? But we could also do the reverse. We could do the reverse where we create characters that are indigenous of Ixalan, right? So right out the gate, if I was going to be part of the 4 factions, if I wasn't going to be a member, a character from one of the 4 warring factions, I would pick a goblin. I would pick a blue goblin. And it says right here, let's just say there's the descriptions. It gives you traits that you get. So for example, goblins are native to Ixalan, and their eager curiosity drew them to the ships of the Brazen Coalition when the pirates first made landfall on the Sun Empire's shores. Right, so though they still thrive in remote jungle colonies, blue goblins are most commonly seen swinging on the ropes of sleek pirate ships. Right, your goblins stand about 3 feet tall, and then there's more flavorful descriptions. So you get goblin traits. So you'll get an ability score increase. So there's certain keywords here under goblin traits. You'll get ability score increase. You get age. You get alignment, size, speed. You get agile climber, dark vision, and then language. One of the languages I would pick is sign language because I'm getting that Planet of the Apes vibe, right? Right? Because Dungeons and Dragons goblins are basically your Lord of the Rings goblins, right? Like, what we do, like mates back on the menu, like those goblins versus the orcs, that kind of like, the scraggly, like troublemaking goblin, and they eat everything, they eat anything, and they eat everything. That's not a goblin. Well, you know what? They'll even eat each other, I think they'll even eat each other. But these goblins are like, they're not afraid of traveling across the ocean, right? Their early ancestors were brought to Ixalan through like pirate ships of, when the first pirate ships first landed along the shores, right? So like those, I'm guessing like millions, bazillions years ago. So I'm picturing that they have they're not so like, let's eat the meat. They're more like, and even though it says they like to loot and plunder, it's like, I'm thinking they're kind of like the One Peaks, the One Peaks characters like that. They're piratey. They have they're more unified, right? Surely there's not going to be, right? They're not a rare race, but blue goblin, right? They're going to be more unified when they're around one another, right? And then they have their secret language, the sign language. So I could make fun of other characters. I could make fun of other characters using the secret sign language. So see, guys, we're coming up with amazing ideas, guys. We're coming up with amazing ideas. Then there's the siren. Right, and then there's a bullet points here on the side here that has planes and sub races. All right, so there's sub races. Oh, there's vampires, guys. You could be a vampire. You could be even though the Legion of the Dusk is the faction, you could still be an independent vampire, right? That's going around adventuring, riding dinosaurs and stuff like that. So these are your vampire traits. You have a vampire feat. Right, so we could go through the keywords here. Let me just go through the keywords because I know that most of you are probably want to be vampires. You guys are attracted to being vampires. All right, so the vampire traits. Your vampire character has the following keyword traits. So you have ability score increase. You have age, alignment, size, speed, dark vision, vampiric resistance. You have languages. You have bloodthirst, and you have feast of blood. And there is a feat that is unique for adventuring in the PLANESHIFT Ixalan. It's called Vampire Feat Vampiric Exaltation. So the prerequisite, the requirement is you have to be a vampire from Ixalan. So it says here, as an action, you can transform the lower half of your body into an inky black vapor, allowing you to float through the air. What? That's cool. While transformed, you have a flying speed of 30 feet. You can maintain this form for up to 10 minutes. Once you use this ability, you can't use it again until you finish a short or long rest. That's kind of cool, guys. That's kind of cool. Oh, Ixalan vampires could only do that, guys. What the heck, Dio? That's cool. But you know what? Not as cool as my goblin. My goblin. My Ixalan goblin. Okay. All right, now we're going into the land of the Great River. So it's called the chapter is called Geography of Ixalan. So the center of the world is the great continent known. Oh, it's a continent. I thought there was another word like archipelago. I thought it was going to be like archipelago. So it's like islands within islands, right? Surrounding like a water or a, like, is it really an ocean or lake, like a giant lake in the middle or something like that? So it's actually called the continent. Okay. We stand corrected. We stand corrected. Look at that dinosaur. Oh my goodness. Okay, my blue goblin. I want to befriend a dinosaur. I have to ride. Okay, I'm picturing this. Okay, my blue goblin, right, is riding, right? I don't know what class it yet, right? And I don't know what background, but all I know is I want a blue goblin riding a baby triceratops. I'm riding a baby triceratops. What the flip? What the flip? Speaking of flip, let me just show you the dice again. Wait, let me pick these up here. Bum, bum, bum. Give me a second, guys. Let's clear the table. Roll history. Alright, so these are the dice again. Alright, I love showing off this dice rolling app overlay. So if you're going to be playing tabletop or role-playing games, it doesn't really matter, you know, what role-playing game, you know, but if you're interested in the fantasy side of role-playing games, you know, aka Dungeons and Dragons, these will be the dice that you need. They're called gaming dice, but back in the ancient times of yestergaming, we just basically called them polyhedrons or polyhedrals. So these are cool dice, guys. Check it out. Check it out. All right, so the geography of Ixalan. The center of the world is the great continent known as Ixalan, which has given its name to the plain as a whole. A tropical land covered in lush rainforest, soaring mountains, lofty plains, and winding rivers, Ixalan is shaped like a large crescent enfolding a vast inner sea. So it's called the inner sea, okay? It's not a lake, like a ginormous lake. It's called the inner sea. Hold on, I gotta drink. Alright, guys, I gotta go pee-pees. I gotta go pee. Plus, I gotta clear my throat. Alright, guys, we're going to continue with the reviewing. We're going to continue streaming Rainbowing, the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition supplement, PLANESHIFT Ixalan, for the world of adventures in the Magic of the Gathering. Okay, guys, I just want to say thank you, everybody, for keeping me company here in the cringe. Don't forget your drinks and snacks, and we will BRB, guys. BRB. We are back. Thank you for your patience, everybody. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so now we're in the chapter Land of the Great River. Okay, let me see. Where did I leave off? Right, so the center of the world is a great continent known as Ixalan. Right, so a tropical land covered in lush rainforest, soaring mountains, lofty plains, and winding rivers. Ixalan is shaped like a large crescent, enfolding a vast inner sea. Its history has been shaped by the interaction between the Sun Empire and the River Heralds. Ah, so they started all the trouble back in the ancient times of Ixalan. Those two. Dang it. Those two. I bet you they forgot what even started it. You know the old meme. You know when why the dwarves hate the elves. The elves hates the dwarves, but they don't even remember what started it all. Right, so the history has been shaped by the interaction between the Sun Empire and the River Heralds. Both peoples lived in balance, while the Sun Empire maintained its stewardship of the immortal sun. But that balance was upset when the Emperor abused the artifact's power. Now the Sun Empire has been pushed to the coastal lands of Ixalan, while the River Heralds dominate the interior. Oop, excuse me, guys. Excuse me. Oh my goodness, I've been drinking gamer subs. Oh wait, I gotta drink. I keep forgetting to hydrate. Hold on a second, guys. While I gulp down my gamer subs. Yummy! The bowberry. Okay, here we go. So there's a map here. Nicely detailed. Right? But it's more detailed here. It is... I want to zoom... Wait, should we zoom in? Well, this is the map. It comes with part of the PDF. It is a really, really cool map. What the heck, Dio? It's sideways and stuff. But you could guys get an idea. Wow, look at this. Imagine adventuring here. Like, you know... Alright, if I was a blue... Alright, if I was a blue goblin... and I wasn't part of the faction, but I was me and my adventuring party, I would say that I would like to be along the coast, to adventure along the coast and then work our way inland. But I just love pirate movies and stuff like that. So just anywhere on the island, right? And there's gonna be dinosaurs too. Oh, wait, how's this? Me and my group of adventurers, we currently live in a village. And then from the village, we use the village as our base, and we go out adventuring, riding my dinosaur, my baby Triceratops. What? Alright, so it says here, let's look through here. So there's ancient sites. Let's see. Alright, let me scan ahead. Okay, so we have a chapter of ancient sites, treasure, and that's it. Pretty easy, guys. It's very flavorful, right? We don't need it. Well, in most games, okay, so this the geography of Ixalan, right? You have a nice picture map, right? And then maybe 2 pages of ancient sites. In normal RPGs, right? The geography, you're going to read about the geography in 923 pages of geographical wonder. Here, nice. It's to the point, guys. It's an island with the flip. It's island, four factions fighting on it, right? Right, so I'm getting pirate vibes. There's dinosaurs, Jurassic Park. I'm getting magical Jurassic Park. Fantastical Jurassic Park. Hello. So it says here, ancient sites. So the Sun Empire was once larger than it presently is. And let me just let me look through some of the chapters. Okay, so there's the city of Tecatli, Tecapec. There's a place called Azcanta, and I bet you they're like here. There's locations here that are on the map, but they're too tiny to like read, and I'm too lazy. I don't want to zoom in. Okay, so you have a chapter of the ancient sites, right? And it looks like a lot of the names of the sites are Aztec inspired. They're Aztec inspired, guys. What the heck, Dio? Isn't that cool or what? So they're Aztec. You know what? I'm getting a vibe all of a sudden for the Sun Empire. There's this role-playing game that was very popular during the ancient times of yester gaming, yester RPGing, and I have it. I have the box set, and it's called Empire of the Petal Throne. It sounds like it's ancient Aztec-ish inspired like role-playing game, right? With a fantastical vibe to it, but it's not. It's a science fiction game. Do you guys want me? I don't think it's spoiling it. All right. So imagine it's the year like 5 million, right? You're in the future, right? So a colony ship, right? A colony spaceship crash lands on a planet, right? And then we flash forward like 1 million years. Your ancestors have reverted to like ancient, reverted to an ancient type of culture, right? Because, you know, the laser guns are not going to be working, right? After 1 million years, your spaceship is probably going to be like broken apart and used for resources and stuff like that. So the different alien species have now evolved to the current tribal feudalism and stuff like that in the Empire of the Petal Sun, in the Empire of the Petal Throne. And it has like that, you know, the Aztecish kind of quality to it. So imagine that, right? So you're playing characters, and you only have heard of like stories about the ancient, you know, times and stuff like that, but you don't believe that, right? You've never seen a laser gun, right? Let's go explore inside one of these ancient caves, but lo and behold, it's the actual interior bulk of a spaceship, or parts of the broken spaceship that, you know, crash landed. And then you discover like ancient weapons and stuff like lasers and things like you activated a robot by accident. Like that is like Empire of the Petal Throne. It's the coolest. It's the most unique campaign gaming world that I have ever enjoyed reading. There's a lot of love. I think the person who created Empire of the Petal Throne is a actual scientist, like a scientist that understands like the Mayan / Aztec / Mayan cultures, and just was inspired to create a science fiction world based on those ideas and stories and things like that. So I'm getting that feeling here. I'm getting the feeling of the Sun Empire has that Empire of the Petal Throne. And you know what? I could twist it. No, I feel like I want to twist it. What if the members of the Sun Empire are the descendants of a colony spaceship that crashed onto Ixalan like millions of bazillion years ago? What? I'm combining two game campaigns, guys. I'm combining Ixalan with there is a classic D&D module where you're adventuring inside a crashed spaceship. I forgot what it was called, guys. Well, wait, hold on. Now I want to Google it. Dang it! Hold on, let me Google it. D&D adventure spaceship. Let's see, about a crashed spaceship. Oh, it's called Expedition to the Barrier Peaks. Remember that, guys? Oh my goodness, I should do a book review of that. Oh my, I should do a streaming rainbow of that. What? Expedition to the Barrier. Okay, if I was a dungeon master, I would secretly make the Sun Empire the direct descendants of the space explorers of the Expedition to the Barrier Peaks that crashed and formed the Ixalan. You see how Ixalan, how the inner sea looks like a big circle, and then it radiates rings of islands all around it? So that's ground zero. That's where the spaceship crashed and created this huge crater that over time evolved and filled up with water and formed what is known as the inner sea. Right? So that means the spaceship remnants are somewhere underneath the water. And then that's how the merfolk has access to lasers, to the lasers. What? Oh, shoot, I'm combining two gaming campaigns, guys. I'm combining PLANESHIFT Ixalan with Expeditionary to the Barrier Peaks. What? Alright, so we have ancient sites. Wait, so there's a little chapter here, and then there's a treasure list. Okay, so let's just have fun with the treasure list. Okay, so let's look at okay, you're exploring. Your ship made landfall, and after several hours following the path, you encounter a Sun Empire village. And throughout the throng of activity, you see all kinds of people, women, children, elderly. You encounter a sales, an area where there's a lot of markets. You enter the, what do you call it? You enter the bazaar, and you get curious, and you decide to look at a pile of, right, let's roll a d10. Right, we rolled a 4. You were curious that at the tiny jade figurine that was made by the River Heralds. So it's a tiny jade figurine of a little mer woman, you know. And then you ask the vendor, like, hey, this looks interesting. How much is it for sale? And then in reply, oh, that'll be like 2 gold pieces. You know, 2 gold. Would you settle for 1 gold piece? Okay, here. All right, so you pay 1 gold piece to the vendor, and you have a tiny jade figurine of a mer woman. You go to the next vendor, right? And then you look at the table, and you're curious, and you decide to get a. So let's roll d10. A 6. We're looking at the 6, and we see a bronze spyglass. What the heck? We see a bronze spyglass. You know what? Oh my goodness! I've always wanted to get one of these. You tell the vendor, and the old man. Well, you know, that was once used by one of the infamous pirates. You know, during the ancient times of pirating. You know, how much are you selling that? Well, it's really not for sale. You know, but why do you have it on the table? You know, amongst all these other trinkets to buy. Well, I would rather trade for it. Like, I'll see. Let me see. Hold on. And then you look into your pockets, and you decide you want to trade. You know, you have a dagger, right? So how's this? I'll trade you this dagger for that bronze spyglass. So then you have to make a what do you guys call it? Diplomacy roll. So let's make a diplomacy roll. We rolled a 1. The vendor looks at us. Are you crazy? That's a horrible trade. I would not trade this brazen telescope for a dinky dagger like yours. Get out of here. Get out of my face. Dang it. Whenever you roll a 1 in pretty much any role-playing game, you know, if you roll a 1, that's called a critical fail. So not only does it fail, but things get added onto it too. So we got kicked out. You know, the vendor doesn't get away. You know, he throws get away. So that's one of the additional effects, right? You know, it could have been worse. He could have called someone and asked for, like, you know, like, yeah, this guy's robbing me, you know, like that. But thank God, you know, logically, you know, that's one of the things that could happen if you roll, depending on what your critical failure is, right? If you make a critical fail to hit somebody, your sword breaks in half, right? If you make a critical fail when jumping across the ravine, you fall to your death. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All right, so you know what? Right, we walk away from that grumbling old timer. So we go to another table, and let's see. Let's take a look. What do we find? Let's see. What do we find, guys? Let's roll d10. So on this table, we rolled a 1. So we see. Okay, we're curious. We see a silver headdress with amber and red coral feathers. Whoa! It's like a little, it's a headdress, a silver headdress with amber and red feathers on it. What? Looks pretty good. I tried it on for size, and it actually fits. Whoa! I look like a Sun Empire guy, right? I look like that. let's look at another table. All right, I look at another table, and let's see. We roll D10. Okay. We got a 9. So at this table, we see, ooh, fine gold chain with fire opals. It's this incredible necklace. What? It's gold. Well, it looks gold. We don't know if it's fake, right? It feels heavy, right? Fine gold chain with fire opals. What? That looks pretty. That looks really expensive. So I asked the vendor, hey, vendor. And then the lady says, hello, what? Is there anything that tickles your fancy? How much is this fine gold chain with fire opals? Well, that's about like 2,000 gold pieces, you know? Governor. I'm like, ah, man. I check my pockets. I only have like 25 gold piece. Dang it. Well, too rich for my blood. All right, so we walk away. We go to the next table. So there's a D10. We look at that. D10 here. We got a 3. So on this table, we see a jade breastplate. What? Do you ask the vendor, do you mind if I try this on for size? Right. Yep. I mean, my little blue goblin. And then the old guy goes, well, sure, go on. And then I try on the breastplate and it actually fits. Holy smoke. And it's jade breastplate. It's like this cool green. You know, I don't have any armor. I have like leather pants and stuff like that. And that's it. Like, no leather pants. That's the only armor, quote unquote, that I got for my little blue goblin. And I think the jade looks really cool against my blue skin. So I'm like, how much for this? And then, well, that's I was thinking the gold price right now is about like 300 gold piece, you know. And then, dang it, I only got like 25 gold in my fanny pack. Dang it, in my fantasy fanny pack. Oh man, it's too rich for me. Too rich. Well, tell you what, you know, I could maybe you could offer a service. Like, what do you mean? What service? What service? Well, word in the jungle is that there's some dinosaur eggs up on that hill over there. You know, you go up there and grab me one dinosaur egg, and then I'll trade you that for the jade breastplate. What do you mean, like the dinosaur eggs? Like just any egg? Yeah, just get any egg. You know, bring me any egg up on that top of the hill over there. Like way over there. I feel there's some kind of I feel like the vendor's being sussy. Let's make a perception check on the level of sussiness. We got a 12. All right. You know what? I feel he's being sussy, but maybe, but it is a good deal. It is a good deal, right? We go up there, right? So I could just, you know what? I'll make a note. We make a note to ourselves that we could go back to our adventuring party, and I'll mention that, hey, wait a minute. Why do I want my friends to adventure with me? I want the jade breastplate. I want the jade breastplate. So I'm gonna go adventure up there, you know, grab an egg, right? I'll just find the smallest one. What the flip, right? Surely there's gonna be like velociraptor eggs up there or whatnot, and you know, and then I'm looking at my baby triceratops that I have like parked by the tree, you know, in the distance. I'm looking at like, you know, my little baby triceratops mount. And I'm like, oh, what if there's a baby triceratops up there, baby triceratops egg? I would want to keep it for myself. You know what? I'm thinking if I go up there, I'll grab a couple of eggs, right? I'll keep the best ones that I like for me, and I'll just give the tiny one to the vendor. He'll never know. Meanwhile, as I'm talking out loud, the vendor makes a perception check. He's none the wiser. It turns out that I was speaking in my monkey language. I was going ooh, ah, 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 ooh, and he doesn't understand blue goblin. He doesn't understand blue monkey goblin language. Alright, so let me see what else. So this is the example of we're rolling on the charts. It's fun, right, guys? You don't have to, as a dungeon master, they're flavorful. each item has like a story. It feels like there's a story behind it, right? Those fine gold chain with fire opals. It must have come from somebody, right? That bronze spyglass, definitely from a pirate, right? I'm getting Pirates of the Caribbean-esque vibe, right? So then there's the jade breastplate. Must have come from some jungle warrior or something like that. Maybe someone from the Sun Empire, right? And it looks so cool. It's jade. It's a breastplate. It looks like, okay, for those of you who don't know what a breastplate is, the breastplate is kind of like the armor worn by Brad Pitt in the movie Troy. Hi, Blazed. How are you? Thank you for popping in. Thank you for returning chat. Hey, Blaze, are you playing the Pokemons? Are you playing the Pokemons? I'm doing my streaming rainbow of one of my favorite Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition supplement, playing in the world of Magic the Gathering. You could have the Dungeons and Dragons adventures in the world of Magic the Gathering. This one is PLANESHIFT Ixalan. So it's one of my favorite places to adventure in because there's dinosaurs in it. And there's dinosaurs, there's pirates, vampires, mermen, merfolk, and Aztecs. Aztecs / Mayans. Pretty cool, pretty cool. What an awesome combination. And so we're going here, we're going through the land, we pass through the land. We're looking at some of the random items here. Ooh, there's also okay. Right. I was interested in we bought the bronze spyglass, right? From the second vendor. Chilling, I think I'm going to play Hearthstone. Oh, Disguised Toast game, huh? You're doing the Disguised Toast game. I know this Disguised Toast was the original streamer back in the ancient times who brought major attention to the Hearthstone game, But I hope you have fun. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. I'm almost winding the stream down, and I hope that you're having a relaxed evening, okay? Okay? So remember one of the items? So there's a descriptor here. Like who created the item? So I'm curious. Okay. I take out my bronze spyglass. I extend it and I look through the lens, and I could see, like a telescope. It's basically a pirate telescope. So I'm just looking across the mountain where the eggs are gonna be, right? Where the eggs are supposedly be. So judging by the distance, I'm guessing it's gonna take maybe one day of travel to get there. It is far away, but it's a very obvious location, right? It's not like surrounded by woods or like heavy woods and I can't get to it. I could see that I could find I feel confident that I could find a safe path to get to the top of that like crest of hill / mountain / hill, right? So, but as I look at my bronze spyglass, I notice that there's intricate carvings on it, and it looks really cool. It looks very worn, right? And I'm just curious who created it. So we're gonna roll the d12. Right, we roll d12. Right, we rolled an 11. Oh no! Oh no! As I stare at it, okay. As I stare at the bronze, wait, what's it called? At the bronze spyglass, I look at the intricate carvings and the swirls and the spirals, and I seem drawn to the line work, the carving, the bronze carvings, and the carvings become larger and larger, and then all of a sudden I become entranced. I suddenly don't remember where I'm at. What the heck? The creator of the bronze spyglass, the item is made of black iron, inscribed with runes. And any cloth or leather components are crafted from the hide of demons. It might incorporate feathers, claws, or beaks of harpies. It is warm to the touch and features leering faces or vile runes engraved on its surface. Coatls find the items present repulsive. So as I'm staring at the intricate carvings, the carvings form into faces. What? They form into faces, and the faces are speaking something to me, and then I have to make a saving throw in order to break from being entranced. And we roll a... Oh my god. Okay, we failed. We failed a saving throw. The voices say, go seek eggs. Go find the eggs on the mountain. And then, yes, I must go to the mountain to get the eggs. And then I start going to the mountain for the eggs. Well, we already created. We're dang it, guys. We're already playing the game. And we're not even officially playing it. What the flip? The game is playing us. The game is playing us. What the heck, Dio? Alright, guys, and then we're at the final chapter. I believe this is the final chapter, the Ixalan Bestiary. And this is the best part, the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs! Oh my goodness. Alright, so dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are the dominant form of animal life in Ixalan, the absolute rulers of the coastal lands held by the Sun Empire and a force to be reckoned with in the interior jungles. What? Nice! Wait, these are the dinosaurs that are, because this is a Magic the Gathering Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition supplement, these dinosaurs are based off the dinosaur cards in the, I think, the Ixalan Magic the Gathering set. So I have a commander deck based off of Gishath, which is my commander. It's a huge dinosaur. It's basically this guy here. It's like the Magic the Gathering Tyrannosaurus Rex. Right, so it's called Gishath. So I have that. That's my commander. I have a dinosaur commander deck. So these are the dinosaurs. Oh, look at this. And then my blue goblin is riding a baby triceratops. What the heck? Look at all these guys. No. So there's horns. Okay, so you get rumbling herds. So these are the keywords of the chapters. There's rumbling herds. There's horned herbivores. Scales, spikes, and hammers. So there's dinosaurs that have like spiky tails and they have hammer heads and stuff like that. Let me see. There's flying dinosaurs. Ooh, there's soaring flocks. There's flying dinosaurs. There's flesh-eating dinosaurs. What the heck, damn. And then, oh, there's game stats. There's elder dinosaurs. What? Alright, so there's beast statistics. So this one is a statistic for the frilled death speeder. I think the frilled death speeder is that, remember Jurassic Park? Remember when that guy Newman from what's that guy? Wait, what's that show that coming from Seinfeld? Remember there was that guy in the first Jurassic Park movie? His name, it's Newman from Seinfeld. Remember how he was stealing some dinosaur genetic material to sell, to sell nefariously to like these people, that he's, for the money. And remember when he was trying to frantically rendezvous with the buyer during a rainstorm, he like crashed and stuff like that. And then remember that dinosaur that spit in his face. That's what this is. This is the frilled death spitter, right on the top right. So we have statistics for the frilled death spitter. So, for example, wait, you know what? I'll read the statistics of my favorite dinosaur. There's Gishath, the sun's avatar. There's a stat block for Gishath. You can actually play Gishath in the game. What the heck? Wait, you know what? I shouldn't be surprised. This is Ixalan. So, Gishath, sun's avatar, the king of the dinosaurs of Ixalan, is armor class 16, has 203 hit points, a speed of 40. It has the strength, dex, con, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma stats. It has legendary resistance. It has 3 legendary resistances. What? Per day. It has multi-attack, bite, swallow, and it has stomp and then tail. It has a legendary action. Gishath can take 3 legendary actions, choosing from the options below. So he gets a stomp or tail attack, and he gets what's called the roar. So the roar, each creature, okay, if I do a legendary action, roar, it costs 2 action points. 2 actions. So I would have to hold action for 1 turn, and then on my second action, I activate Roar. So basically, he's like probably inhaling. I could picture Gishath taking a inhaling a deep breath, like like that kind of style, like from the Jurassic Park. So each creature that is within 120 feet of Gishath and can hear the roar must succeed on a saving throw of 19. Wait, must succeed on the DC 19 Wisdom saving throw, or become frightened for 1 minute. Oh my god. Okay, let's pretend we roll a saving throw. We roll d20. We have to hit 19 or more. We hear the roar. We're so scared. We're so scared. We rolled an 11. We didn't even come close to 19 and over. Oh my goodness. We got it. We run away. Everybody starts running away. That's hilarious, guys. That's hilarious. It's just like right out of Jurassic Park, when that Tyrannosaurus Rex would roar, and then everybody would run away. Remember? Here we go. So we have Gisha's stat block. What else we have? We have Elder Dinosaur stat block. We have Zatalpa, the Primal Dawn stat block. We have Nazahal, Primal Tide stat block. I think that's a Ocean Dragon. We have different dragons. Primal Storm, Atali. Oh, Atali, the Primal Storm. That's an actual card in Magic the Gathering. So I'm guessing these are all actual cards in the Magic the Gathering. There is Zatalpa, Primal Dawn. There's Tetzimok, Primal Death. Galta, the Primal Hunger. Zakama, the Primal Calamity. Nice. So it's 2 pages, right? 2 pages of dinosaurs, right? That are very popular cards in the Magic the Gathering Ixalan card set. You know, in normal role-playing games, guys, right? You'll have 1,253 pages of incredible dinosaurs, all for your DM enjoyment. And then there's something called there's creatures called coatls. There's sunbirds, the night terrors. We have a sunbird stat block. Do we have a night terror stat block? Night terror. So night terrors, you have demons, harpies, elementals, horrors, nature. Oh, there's even nature creatures like they have a chupacabra. They have a chupacabra. Nice. Ooh, there's bats, frogs, centipedes, giant. Of course, these are gonna be giant, guys. These are gonna be crazy scary. A giant cockroach, a giant scorpion. What the heck, Dio? Giant spider. Wait, giant spiders, giant centipede, giant scorpions. Yeesh. As we go explore deeper into the interior, the jungle interior of Ixalan, not only are there dinosaurs, like, you know, not only we have to worry about velociraptors hunting us down, we have to worry about giant centipedes. What the frick? Scary. There's also creatures of the water. Yeesh. And that's it. There's enough flavor here that makes adventuring in Ixalan, like, okay, I'm getting a vibe of the Land Beyond Time meets Jurassic Park meets what's that movie that that's about like the Aztecs and stuff like that? Remember, it was a movie that was directed by what's that guy from Mad Max, by Mel Gibson? Like, I think, what was it called? Wait, hold on. Let me Google this, okay, guys? Hold on. Movie Mel Gibson Aztec, maybe? Is that what it's called? Oh, Apocalypto. Okay. Alright, so this game, right? This the world of Ixalan, I'm getting vibes of Apocalypto plus Jurassic Park plus Pirates of the Caribbean plus the Headless Horseman plus One Piece plus vampires, you know, like all that, all the good stuff, all the good nerdy combinations. And then the final chapter, we have the appendix, The Colors of Magic. Okay, so all the planes of magic's multiverse are suffused with mana, the energy that fuels magic in all its forms. Mana is intricately linked with the physical world, and different types of terrain produce different colors of manana. Okay, so there's keywords. Lands, right? So different types of terrain generate mana. Magic the Gathering, guys. Surely you guys play the card game, or at least familiar with it, right? There's mountains produce red, plains produce white, swamps produce black mana, like that kind of stuff. So there's keywords, philosophical principles, the magical effects, the races and creatures, metaphysical essence, personality traits, using multiple colors. There's also the color wheel here that is the basis for the Magic the Gathering card game. It's also used as part of the foundation for adventuring in the plane of Ixalan, in using the Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition rulebook. Man, that's a tongue twister. So it has all. Ooh, wow. Okay, so it has you could roll for traits. What the heck? There's a trait list. All right, so white. Right, for example, so my blue goblin that's adventuring and failed the saving throw on its way to go to the mountain to get the eggs. So blue is mana of water. So let's just take a look at that. There's blue, black, red, green. Okay, so let's say we're blue. Blue is wisdom, contemplation, manipulation. Blue's strength is the power of the mind, its limitless ability to imagine, invent, strategize, and deceive. Knowledge is power, and victory goes to the smarter foe. More information about Blue's philosophies and powers can be found here. So the blue mana, the alignment is neutral, any. There's a power suite. So you get control, the mind, counter spells, illusion, transformation, time, wind, water, and ice. Suggested races that tap into the blue mana: human, merfolk, Vidalcan, Aven, Naga. There's no goblin! No goblin. Suggested classes: wizard, monk, rogue. Suggested background: charlatan, hermit, and sage. And then you have a personality trait and a blue ideal. Blue personality trait and blue ideal. And then there's color combinations. If you want to do blue and white, blue and black, blue and red, just like in Magic the Gathering, the card game. You could implement those traits and effects in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition Ultimate Planescape. PLANESHIFT Ixalan. It's brilliant. It's so brilliantly described, guys. This is so cool. Right, so the colors of magic. Interesting, guys. So there's white, a listing of black mana, green mana, and then that's it. That's the end. We made it. We made it to the end, everybody. All right, guys. All right. So before we wind the stream down, let's check out what we just went over. We did the streaming rainbow of Magic the Gathering PLANESHIFT Ixalan for compatibleness with Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. If you've always been curious about adventuring in the worlds of the Magic of the Gathering, this is Ixalan. And we have an introduction, the world of Ixalan, concerning the 4 major factions that are vying for control of the lands of Ixalan. The four factions are the Sun Empire, the River Heralds, the Legion of Dusk, and the Brazen Coalition. We came up with character ideas and concepts for each one of these. But I think I'm thinking Brazen Coalition, my blue goblin. And then we looked at the major races of Ixalan. There's humans, merfolk, vampires, orcs, goblin, and sirens. Those are the and that's not to say that you can't play other races, but this is, if you're going to be playing in Ixalan, I would say just jump in it, right? Dive in it, guys. right? So pick one of these. If you don't want to create a character that's part of a faction, you could create one of the races that are indigenous to the lands of Ixalan. Remember, guys, my blue goblin that rides a baby triceratops, that is a rogue thief. But somehow I gotta figure out how I snap out of the demonic suggestion from my cursed pirate telescope, to go to the mountain and get the egg, not the eagle eggs. Okay, so we have here. Then we have the land of the Great River, which is a map of Ixalan. It is huge and incredibly awesome. And then we have descriptions. There's this little small descriptions of the areas of ancient sites, which are, there's keywords and locations on the map, but it's just too small to zoom in right now. But there is a section, describing very briefly like these areas. Then we did a sample of like checking out the bazaar, right? Checking out the market at the nearest village, and we discovered some cool stuff. We ended up getting buying the bronze spyglass, and technically we're on a quest to get an egg to trade to the vendor for the jade breastplate. Right, and then we have the bestiary of the dinosaurs. The Magic the Gathering dinosaurs. Nice. They have an actual Gishoth, the sun's avatar. This is, oh my goodness, this is a dinosaur character if you've ever really experienced one. There are other character dinosaurs, but at least we have a good start, right? We have Zetalpa, the Primal Dawn. He's big. We have Etali, the Primal Storm. These are big. The Galta, the Primal Hunger. Like, these are like named Magic the Gathering dinosaur cards. And then we have other creatures that are indigenous, the Quattles, the Sunbirds, the Night Terrors, right? The Chupacabra. You gotta have the Chupacabra, guys. And then we have Life of the Forest, the Bats, the Spider, the Giant Spiders, the Giant Frogs, the Giant Centipedes, the Giant Beetles. Yeesh, wolf spider, giant wolf spider. You know what a wolf spider does? A wolf spider creates this like hidden layer that it's basically a manhole cover, right? Imagine like a giant spider hiding in a manhole cover, right? Quote unquote. And then after you walk by it, it pops out and grabs you and drags you in it. That's what the wolf spider does. Imagine, if we don't, okay, we're walking across, we're trekking through the jungle, right? Let's make a perception check. As we go further deeper, I feel a sense of, oh, it feels safe. Okay, you know what? I feel like if we go this path, it looks safe. Come on, let's go. Come along, my adventuring party. Come along. Meanwhile, the little manhole lid lifts a little bit, and you see like the 8 eyes of the wolf spider staring at as we walk by. and it laughs to itself. Oh, that's gonna be rough. That's gonna be rough. Oh, I don't like that feeling. Eesh. All right, and then we went to the life. There's creatures that live in the water, right? Crocodiles, giant sharks, right? Those are normal, but the quippers, giant crocodiles, eesh. And then there's other stone. There's like constructs. What do you guys call them in Eberron? They're called like the Warforged or something like that. You have animated like stone beings, creatures, and stuff like that. And then the final appendix is the use of the colors of magic, the mana. Right. So you have the mana part, and then that's it, guys. Amazing, everybody. This is a wonderful supplement for Dungeons and Dragons Adventures using 5th edition. I have a couple of more plane shifts PLANESHIFT supplements, guys. This one is one of my favorites. There's others. I think there's Innistrad, which is like the, like a Ravenloft. It's like the Magic the Gathering Ravenloft. That's cool. That's cool. I'll probably streaming Rainbow that one. But this one is an amazing. Is it a campaign? Is it a supplement? I think it's a little bit of both, right? Because it has a really nice, strong foundation, right? To start playing games in Ixalan, right? But it's also a supplement too. So, but at least I'm glad that it's not a lot. It's only 47 pages, right? So normally you'll get a campaign world. You'll get something similar to this, but it's 925 pages of supplements and campaign stories and worlds and inspiration for your adventures. At least this is nice, short, sweet. I like it when it doesn't play around, right? But it's not business-like, right? It's written very creatively. It just inspires a lot of imagination. Don't you guys want to create a character and ride a dinosaur? How cool is that? How cool is that? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Let's wind the stream down. All right, everybody. We'll wind the stream down. Thank you guys for keeping me company here in the cringe. All right, guys. Let's get into the goober. All right, guys. I'm saving my game right now. Nice. All right, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for keeping me company here in the cringe. I hope that you guys enjoyed the streaming rainbow. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. But more importantly, I hope that you had a wonderful day today. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful evening. Okay, guys? All right, guys. Deep breath. Deep breath. Oh, my neck. Oh, it's always my neck. What the heck? My neck. Oh, just gotta stretch it a little bit. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. Thank you once again. Thank you, Eternal Mimi Blood, for the belly rub. Thank you, Joku Killer 1234 for the belly rub. Thank you, AC Kyle, for the belly rub. Welcome to the puppers, everybody. Thank you for pupping in. Thank you for pupping in Crimson. Thank you for pupping in Blazed. I hope everybody is doing well. I hope everyone's doing good. All right, guys. Gonna wind the stream down. Take good care of yourself. Take good care of each other. And I hope to see you guys next time. So long. Farewell. It's time to say goodbye. 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 Good. Bye. A wonderful rest of the evening, everybody, and I hope to see you guys next time. Lovers!
写真たち